All right, guys, this is the 5.1 practice quiz is in preparation for the quiz next class. So starting with number 1, this is just scalar multiplication. Again, this is being done without a calculator. So we're just multiplying every element in there on number 1 by 5/2. A simpler way to think about this, if you have trouble with fractions, is we're multiplying everything in there by 5 first, and then dividing everything by 2. So I'll work it out that way. I'm going to multiply everything in here by just 5. And if I multiply everything in there by 5, 5 times 8 is 40. 5 times -6 is -30. 5 times 2 is 10. 5 times -4 is -20. Now that I've multiplied everything in there by 5, I need to take care of that 2. I'm going to divide everything in there by 2. So we're just cutting everything in half. That I think everybody can handle. 40 divided by 2 is 20. -30 divided by 2 is -15. 10 divided by 2 is 5. And -20 divided by 2 is -10. So that's our answer to number 1. So number 2, we're subtracting so each element in corresponding position. So 5 minus 4. So we're going to go to that first position, and obviously you could probably skip some of these steps as you go along. 3 minus -3. Using a different color just to help. We've got a double negative there. Then we've got a 0 minus -9. So minus a -9. And finally, we've got -5 minus 7. And then to perform those operations, 5 minus 4 is 1. Double negative there. 3 minus a -3. 3 minus a -3 is a positive 6. 0 minus -9 is double negative again. So that ends up being 9. And -5 minus 7 is -12. So that's our answer to number 2. So number 3 involves a couple of different things. First, on number 3, we need to multiply everything in this first matrix by 1/4. Again, that's the same thing as multiplying everything in there by 1 and then dividing by 4. Since multiplying by 1 doesn't change anything, really all we're doing here is dividing all of these elements here. We're just dividing all of those by 4. So go ahead and do that. So that's what we get when we divide all the elements by 4, and now we're just adding the numbers in the 2 matrices that are in corresponding positions. So go ahead and do that as well. All right, so number 3, there is your answer. Again, make sure you can do these on your own without the video as well, but this video hopefully is helping out for some of the problems you're struggling with. Moving on to number 4 is multiplication. So first we want to identify if we can multiply these 2 matrices together. This first matrix has 2 rows and 3 columns, so it's 2 by 3. The second matrix is a 3 by 2 because it has 3 rows and 2 columns. So remember those inside numbers right there matched up. So that means we can indeed multiply these 2 together. And the outside numbers means our answer is going to be a 2 by 2 matrix. So number 4, I'm going to go ahead and write my solution matrix. It's a 2 by 2 matrix, so I just need 1, 2, 3, 4 numbers, and I'll have my answer there. So to come up with those 4 numbers, we're multiplying rows times columns. So I'm going to multiply this first row. Since we're multiplying from left to right, I'm going to multiply that first row by all the numbers in the first column. So -2 gets multiplied by 3. And I'm going to add to it 4 times -2. I'm going to add to that 4 times 3. So then we check that math. -2 times 3 is -6. 4 times -2 is -8. 4 times 3 is 12. -6 plus -8 is -14. Plus 12 is -2. So I'll work just for that little number. So -2 goes in that spot. I'm going to erase. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply the top row now by the second column. I go through the same process. I'm going to multiply -2 times -3. Use a different color this time. I'm going to multiply 4 times 5. And I'm going to multiply this other 4 times this bottom 4. I'm going to do that math. Go ahead and check that math, and I'll write the answer here in just a second. So I ended up with 42 in that second spot. All right, I'm going to go ahead and erase. So now I'm going to move to this bottom row. And I'm going to multiply this bottom row by the first column again. We'll repeat the process. So I'm going to multiply this 1 times that 3. I'm going to add to it the -3 times the -2. I'm going to add to that the -4 times the 3. So go ahead and do that and check your answer. It's all about basic arithmetic. You need to know your basic arithmetic. Once you get out of high school, you end up getting -3 in the 2-1 position. And then we're going to repeat the process one more time to get that last number. I'm going to go ahead and erase. So last but not least, I'm going to multiply the bottom row by the second column. So that's 1 times -3 plus -3 times 5 plus -4 times 4. Pause if you need time to do the arithmetic. Here comes the answer. So -34 is the last part of that solution. So your answer is this 2x2 matrix right here. All right, moving on. 5. Again, we're multiplying on number 5. This one is much shorter. But again, the first thing you want to do is label the dimensions for this first matrix. It has just one row. Rows go side to side, and it has 3 columns. There's 3 up and downs. The second matrix has 3 rows, so it has 3 side to sides, and it has 2 columns. So again, we can multiply these 2 matrices because these inside numbers match up. The outside numbers tell us our answer is going to be a 1x2 matrix. So that means our answer, it is going to be 1 row and 2 columns. So it's going to be skinny, a tiny matrix, just enough room for 2 numbers. So to get our answer, we're going to multiply everything in this row times everything in this column, and that'll give us the first number. So pause it now. I'm going to give the answer here in just a second. So 25 is the first number. I'm going to make that matrix just a little bit bigger so I can fit the second number. There's the work and how I got 25. Going now, we're going to repeat the process, but this time we're going to multiply that row times the second column. Again, pause. I'm going to give you the answer here in just a second. So 0 ended up being the second number. So our answer is the matrix, the 1x2 matrix, 25, 0. All right, a couple more. Number 6, we are multiplying, and then we are adding that third matrix with a scalar of 3. So the first thing you need to do in this problem is you need to multiply these 2 matrices. Order of operations says multiply first. So go ahead and multiply those 2 matrices. They're both 2x2 matrices, so our result should be a 2x2 as well. So go ahead and multiply those. I'll give you the answer here in just a second. So there's the work for number 6. So our answer is going to be -2, 18, 4, and -14. You can pause if you need to. Oh, that's not our answer. That's just what we got when we multiplied those first 2 matrices. So the next thing we need to do is we need to multiply everything in this matrix right here, and multiply those numbers by 3. And then we're going to bring down the addition sign there as well. So 3 times 1 is 3. 3 times 2 is 6. 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 4 is 12. And now we're just simply adding those two matrices together. So just add the numbers in the corresponding positions, and that'll be your answer. So this is our complete answer to number 6. All right, let's finish off with 7 and 8. 7 looks like it's a little bit of a longer problem. Again, a list of dimensions. This is a 3 rows, 2 column matrix. And we are multiplying it by a 3 matrix. So those inside numbers do not equal each other. Did not mean for that to happen, but those inside numbers do not equal each other. So that means we cannot multiply these two matrices together. Cannot multiply. There is no solution. So that's all you have to do if the inside numbers do not match up. Finally, number 8. So number 8 is scalar multiplication and then subtracting of like terms. So it wants 4b minus 2a. So 4 times b is going to look like this when I set it up. Minus 2 times whatever a is. And matrix A is negative 3, 6, 0, 4. So if I multiply everything in there by 4, I'm going to get negative 16, 4, 8, 8. I'm going to multiply everything in there by positive 2, and then just remember to subtract everything. If I multiply everything in there by positive 2, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. 2 times 6 is 12. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 4 is 8. And then my last step here is to just subtract corresponding number. So negative 16 minus negative 6. It's negative 16 minus negative 6. It's 4 minus 12. It's going to be 8 minus 0. And it's going to be 8 minus positive 8. You just take care of that simple math and you will arrive at your answer. Negative 16 minus the negative 6 is negative 10. 4 minus 12 is negative 8. 8 minus 0 is 8. And 8 minus 8 is 0. So there's your answer. Study this. Practice it on your own. Good luck on the quiz next class.